Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope all of us in a good condition and stay healthy. My name is Vidinda Fahriati and today I will deliver an interesting topic in English language teaching. We will discuss about material development, which is designing effective language teaching material. But before we start our topic, we must know what is material development. According to Tomlinson, material development is both a field of study and a practical undertaking. As a field, it studies the principle and procedure of the design, implementation, and evaluation of language teaching material. As an undertaking, it involves the production, evaluation, and adaptation of language teaching material by teachers for their own classroom and by materials writers for sale or distribution. Ideally, these two aspects of materials development are interactive in that the theoretical studies inform and are informed by the development and use of classroom materials. So according from that definition, I will make the conclusion that material development is anything done by materials developers or teachers to facilitate the learning of the language, and a conscious process which consists of the committing to memory of information relevant to what is being learned. After know what is the material development, we move to the advantages and disadvantages of designing effective language teaching materials. So I got from Harvard and Major in 2014, they mention about advantages and disadvantages. We start with the advantages. Why English language teacher may choose to design their own materials. Here are the advantages of developing own material. The first advantages is contextualization. Contextualization is an important advantage of teacher-produced materials. It is a key criticism of commercial materials, particularly those produced for the worldwide EFL market, is that they are necessarily generic and not aimed at any specific group of learners or any particular cultural or educational context. The possible lack of fit between teaching context and course book. For many teachers, designing or adapting their own teaching materials enables them to take into account their particular learning environment and to overcome the lack of fit of the course book. Other contexts may be extremely improved with little more than an old blackboard and a few pieces of chalk. A lack of commercial material forces teachers to fall back on their own research, and designing their own teaching materials can enable them to make best use of the research available in their teaching context. A further aspect that is not often mentioned in the literature is the cost of commercially produced research. For many school teachers, produced material can be the best option in terms of both school and student budget. The second advantage of own material is individuals' needs. Individuals' needs, including teaching, should consider individuals' needs of learners. Teacher design material can be responsive to the heterogeneity inherent in the classroom, which will encompass the learner's first language and culture as well as their learning needs and experience. Few coursebooks incorporate opportunities for learners to build on the first language skill already acquired. And the last, teacher can organize the material and activities over the coursebook. The third advantage is personalization. Personalization is another advantage of teacher-designed material. In his 1991 article, Block argued in favor of homemade materials, saying that they add a personal touch to teaching that students appreciate. Tapping into the interesting and taking account of the learning style of student is likely to increase motivation and engagement in learning. And the last advantage is timeliness. Teachers designing their own material can respond to local and international events with up-to-date, relevant, and high-interest topics and tasks. In conclusion, the advantages of teacher-designed material can be summed up in the idea that they avoid the one-size-fits-all approach of most commercial materials. Next, we move to the disadvantages of developing own materials. The first disadvantage is organization. Organization should be organized around an identifiable principle and followed by discernible pattern. In contrast, teacher-designed materials may lack overall coherence and a clear progression, which may result in a poorly focused activity lacking clear direction. The second disadvantage is the quality. The most common criticism which against teacher-made material is to do with their quality. The surface level teacher-made material may seem ragged and unprofessional next to those produced by professionals. Lack of experience and understanding on the part of the teacher may result in important elements being left out or inadequately covered. Some other problem may be lack of clear instruction and poor choice of text. And the last disadvantage is time. The key factor inhibiting many teachers from producing their own teaching material is time. After knowing the advantages and disadvantages about own material, we move to the factor to consider when designing material. The first is learners. The point of teacher create material is relevant, interest, motivation, and meet specific individual needs. Therefore, teacher must ensure they know their learners well. Any consideration of syllabus or material design must begin with a needs analysis, such as learning needs, learning preference, students' experience, first language and level of literacy in it, aspiration and their interest and their purpose for learning English. Second, curriculum and the context. Many teachers are bound by a mandate curriculum defining the context, skill, and values to be taught. A curriculum outlines the goals and objectives for the learners and the course of study. It is the responsibility of teachers to ensure that the goals and objectives of the overarching curriculum are kept close at hand when designing material. Context in which the teaching and learner occurs will impact the types of material that may need to be designed. For example, a primary level mainstream in English-speaking setting. With a set curriculum and access to native speaker may require material that facilitate interaction about subject content and develop cognitive academic language proficiency. Refuge adult may need teaching material that focus on meeting immediate survival need and gaining employment. And then the research and facilities. Access to research such as computer with or without internet access, a video player and TV, radio, cassette recorder, CD player, photocopier, language lab, digital camera, whiteboard, and etc. will impact on decision in material design. Research/teaching may address the improved reality of some teaching contexts. And then personal competence and confidence. This will be influenced by the teacher's level of teaching experience and his or her perceived creativity or artistic skill and overall understanding of the principle of material design and production. The most realistic option for the most teacher is undertake material design to modify, adapt, or supplement a course book. Some decisions available for teachers are first, add activities to those already suggested, leave out activities that do not meet your learner's need, replace or adapt activities or material with, first, supplementary material from other commercial texts, second, authentic materials like newspaper, radio reports, and film, and etc. Third, teacher creates supplementary materials. And the last decision is change the organizational structures of the activities. For example, pairs, small group, or a whole class. Copyright compliance. Teachers need to be aware of the restriction that copyright laws on authentic materials, published materials, and materials downloaded from the internet for use in the classroom. This is particularly important when creating course material that will be used by a large number of classes over time. And the last is time. Teachers should consider ways to make this aspect manageable. Block in 1991 suggests a number of ways in which teachers can be lighten the load, included sharing materials with other teachers, working in a team to take turns the design and produce materials, and organizing central storage so material are available to everyone. Okay, that's all about today's topic. Thank you for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.